above all. Please welcome Dennis Kucinich.
We know, sadly, that the war in Iraq was based on lies, and that there must be accountability. And that this accountability is about all of us standing on behalf of the Constitution. Now, it was asked yesterday, when I faced all of you in the media, who stands with me? And the Washington Post today glibly suggested, no one, I'm all alone. Well, let me tell you, no one's with me but the people on this. We've been asked over the years, where are the patriots? And for some reason, patriotism has been confused with war. But we have no confusion here. Wow. Patriotism is standing for truth.
That's right.
Patriotism is standing for the Constitution. Patriotism is standing for justice. Patriotism is standing for a new America. Thank you very much.
Impeachment is indispensable. There is no substitute for it for restoring a constitutional democracy. The impeachment clause was actually written into the Constitution with officials like Bush and Cheney in mind. Yeah. It is there precisely to protect us from a president who would be king and officials who aspire to be powers behind the throne. It is really our duty as Americans to undertake this process, to fail to impeach these crimes of these officials, to fail to identify them as impeachable crimes, as high crimes and misdemeanors, is to be fully complicit in their assault on the Constitution and democracy.
I want to bring up Iraq vets, Gold Star families, and military families who stand here behind me. You're looking at the faces of a lot of people who have been harmed by George Bush and Dick Cheney's lies. Dennis Kucinich introducing articles of impeachment against Dick Cheney is just a start. Dick Cheney and George Bush both need to go.
Yeah.
And everybody who's lied to the American public, everybody in their administration need to go with them.
Yes, indeed.
And my name is Sheehan, and I want Congress to impeach George Bush and Dick Cheney. I want them to do the job that we elected them for. We didn't elect them, contrary to what George Bush says, to keep this war going. We elected them to bring the troops home and to hold them accountable for what they have done to our families.
Right on.
You're looking at the picture of Alex Arredondo, my son Casey, part of this 3,333 needlessly and senselessly killed people because of George Bush and Dick Cheney's war for profit, war of aggression against a country that had nothing to do with 9/11 and was no threat to America. Now they're proposing a surge and they're sending more troops. Last week, it wasn't even a week ago, I wore numbers that said 3,312. Now it's 3,333. 500 Iraqi people were either killed or found dead in Baghdad last week. No matter what they say, they lie. The surge is not working. And the only solution to end this war is to impeach them, impeach the liars, impeach the murderers, and get our troops home. Not only do we have families up here who have paid the ultimate price for their stupidity and lies, but we have soldiers here who will never get over their physical and mental wounds from Iraq. We have soldiers standing behind me who are still suffering from Vietnam, and they want to create more damaged veterans that they can't take care of right now. They're cutting VA benefits. We have family members back here who have lost their marriages because of this war. And And we can't afford to wait one more minute to hold these people accountable and bring our troops home. Families in 2 countries are suffering terribly because of their crimes. And we're here to say we want them to be held accountable. I want justice for my son's death. I want justice for Alex's death. I want justice for the destruction of the world. And we're not going to rest until we get that justice. Thank you.
It wasn't that long ago that I thought impeachment was perhaps an extreme remedy, that perhaps it was too divisive, but it occurred to me, especially after reviewing what our founders had to say about impeachment, that each one of us as American citizens must call for the impeachment of this president and vice president, because they have betrayed their positions of power. They have betrayed our American values. They have betrayed our Constitution in the most fundamental ways, and it is exactly because of those betrayals that the impeachment clause was added to the United States Constitution.
As the organizer of one of the best grassroots impeachment efforts in this country, you take a look at her and you understand why impeachment will happen.
Yay!
I have a message from Washington for impeachment, and that is that today is the people's day. And if you go to any state in this country, you'll find people like myself who are creating the future. And that's what this day is about. Americans have the traditions and ideals of creating a future for their children and the generations to come. I want my son to grow up proud to be an American, to have full rights under the law, to never be asked to die or to kill in a foreign war of aggression. For these reasons, people of all stripes across the political landscape want impeachment on the table. All over the land, impeachment's on the table. All over the land, we got